gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my co-host, Cantu, on the other side. We did not record. Obviously, Sunday Night Baseball was going on. Of course, Sunday Night Football, Fantasy Football, NFL's back as well. So we went ahead and just decided to do it tonight on this beautiful Monday, September 9, episode 212, Astros Slither through the Snakes. Cantu, what a series it was for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, the offense looked good going up to like in the first two games. There were uh I know we talked about how that first game it was a great chance for the Astros to win just because they had Framber Valdez on the mound, but we predicted a pitching duel and then aspect for both games, and the Astros just completely obliterated Eduardo Rodriguez in the first pitch in that game. Obviously, the tables were turned in the third game, but overall, good series for the Astros.
Yeah, this was a series that I don't think a lot of fans were sure because they did get swept by Cincinnati. I know for our perspective too, this was going to be an important series for them. And they did really well. They did that against the Kansas City Royals, which is a great team that you're probably going to see in the postseason. And this Diamondbacks team, they've been one of the hottest teams in the National League after the All-Star break. I'm more than confident enough that they're probably going to make the postseason as well. We talked about that National League West, how stacked it is with the Dodgers, with the Padres themselves. I mean, you could kind of include the Giants too in it, but they're not even really in postseason contention, but they will try to defeat the team that's trying to get into the postseason. But like you said, man, I mean, everything went well for them pitching wise, offensively. I mean, game 3 was a different story. We have our topics on the side. We'll recap that D-back series. Offensive exploded. Fram-Tastic. I mean, because we always say phenomenal and all that. We're going to say Fram-Tastic on this one. Chazzy Fizz adjustment. We did talk to Chaz. Does JV pitch in the postseason? That's going to be another question. I mean, we did talk about it maybe about 2 or 3 episodes ago, but this is kind of now seeing a little bit in these last couple starts to see. I mean, got to get the perspective of each other. Who's invited to the Carne, Asada, the Oakland Athletics pitching preview, train station injury news, and around the horn. Cantu, before we get started, let everybody know where they can follow us.
Absolutely. If you look down at that ticker, you can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. We are there. Either at FSA Full Steam Ahead or Full Steam Ahead. You could also find us on Apple and Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. We are there. But yeah, I mean, if you forget where to find us, that ticker's on there.
Definitely. And if you miss any of this episode, of course, we'll have it on YouTube and we'll have the timestamps as needed. But Astros 77-66 record as of right now. From this D-back series, they are 11-4 in their last 15 games against the Snakes. They're still first in the American League West. Do not sleep on the Mariners. They are 4.5 games back from the Astros of the division, the American League West. They're still third in the American League. 5 games from tying the New York Yankees and 4 games from tying the Cleveland Guardians. So it kind of shortened a little. Like the Astros were playing great baseball throughout this whole series against the D-backs. And let's start it all because of the offense, man. I mean,
before we go, that 3-game series with the Guardians could be the difference between home field advantage or not. So, like if it stays close like this.
Not just that, but I mean, you got to remember too, Seattle before they even go to Cleveland. So I think Seattle before it gets to Cleveland, I think the difference maker is going to be that Seattle series at home at Minute Maid Park.
Absolutely.
Daniel Cariel, we'll talk about that Verlander later on. I mean, we won't be going too much on the recap. So let's start off with the offensive explosion from this team, man, because in Cincinnati, there wasn't really no offensive production, specifically that last game of that series. I mean, 1 through 4 combined for like, I think it was like 8 hits. They had like a $150 batting average from first to the 4th spot in the lineup. But I mean, this series, honestly, the offense had shown out. Friday, they were 5 for 10 with the runners in scoring position. So that is a great number. Yordan Alvarez just continuing to obliterate the ball. I mean, at home specifically, he doesn't have the best splits between his home and away stats. But this series against the D-backs, I mean, everything was clicking for the big man. 2 for 4 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in that Friday night game. And then to add on a little bit more, Jose Altuve doing Jose Altuve things. Mauricio Dubon as well. Both of them had 3-hit games. Altuve finished 3 for 4 with a double, an RBI, and a walk. Dubon, same thing, 3 for 3 with an RBI as well. So seeing the top part, of course, to get everything going, but specifically that bottom part of the order, that's kind of been a weakness in these last couple of games. And Mauricio Dubon stepping up in a big way in that ninth spot to give those RBI opportunities to Altuve, Alvarez, Tucker, Bregman.
Yeah.
Saturday, 6 for 16 runners of scoring position as well. Altuve and Alvarez, and the Altuve and Alvarez game really 3-hit games for both those guys. The 1-2 spot, Altuve 3 for 5 with a double, home run, and RBI. Alvarez 3 for 5 with a double and an RBI as well. Both those guys looking really comfortable. I mean, Altuve, of course, has been the table setter for the Astros through the whole season, but Alvarez is starting to get back in that two-hole all of a sudden. You remember the beginning of the season, it just wasn't clicking really well.
Yeah.
Now, couple of games, couple of series now, he's been looking really good in the 2 spot, and I think Joe Espada is going to leave him there maybe till the end of the season.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think usually you want your best hitter at the 2 spot, and Alvarez is the absolute best hitter there. So, I mean, like you're right. At first, it was kind of like shaky, but now he looks a little bit more comfortable there. And I mean, you saw 3 hits, 3 for 5, and then he had a multi-home run game on Friday too. Like, it's pretty phenomenal stuff there.
Yeah, the big man looks like he's cooking, especially at the right time. October baseball is near, and of course, nothing's guaranteed right now for the Astros getting that postseason spot, but they are in a great position to clinch that division for, I believe it's going to be the 4th straight year if they do, win the American League West. Last but not least, on Saturday, of course, it was Jeremy Pena. I think it was like a flex bobblehead, if I'm not mistaken. It was his bobblehead day, and of course, when it's on your bobblehead day, you got to show out any way possible. 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Basically put the nail in the coffin with a 3-run shot to the right center gap, hitting that home run to the Astros bullpen. That was Pena's first home run at Minute Maid Park. Angel, do you want to give me a guess? When was the last time he hit a home run at the Juice Box?
I saw the stats. We can go ahead and say it.
Since May 17.
Yeah, it's been a while.
My gosh. I was barely probably getting out of college around that time. So since May 17, I mean, Pena did hit that ball really well. But I did want to, because we were both at the game, we were keeping score of how the lineups were doing. Rodriguez in the beginning of I think the first time through the lineup, I mean, he looked really comfortable. And we had even talked about it. I even had kind of tapped you on the side. I was like, look, the biggest thing that showed, no walks. And his last 2 appearances against the Astros last year with Detroit, he had 4 walks in both those starts. What happened, Angel? Didn't I tell you what was going to happen? I got it right here real quick. Okay, so let me see. Gosh. They batted around the 4th inning.
Yeah, they did.
So how did that start? Okay, Victor Caratini, walk. Jake Myers, hit by pitch. Ben Gamble, walk. Who comes up? Chas McCormick with a single, 2-run single to bring in Caratini and Myers. Altuve pops up to Perdomo at short. Yordan Alvarez got an RBI single. Yainer Diaz was able to get on with a Eugenio Suarez error, which he was focusing on the runner instead of the ball. Did not go well. Alex Bregman did walk. And then Jeremy Pena flew out to end that inning. And Eduardo Rodriguez's final stat line was 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them being earned, 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and 1 strikeout.
Yeah, that he had like basically a 4th inning breakdown there because, like you said, he started out pretty good, and then just lost it in that 4th inning, and that was all she wrote there.
Yeah, the Astros made a huge adjustment the second time around this lineup. I mean, credit to Caratini and Jake Myers, which I had mentioned at the beginning of this episode. Bottom of the order had stepped up big time. And since we're already going to be talking about the bottom of the order, you got to give some credit to Mr. Chas McCormick himself.
Absolutely.
Chas McCormick. Oh, we skipped Framber Valdez. We'll get to him in a second. But Chas McCormick, this was a guy that was struggling mightily this whole season. Barely getting over 200 batting average. Hits a home run in his own town over there at Philadelphia. And the next, I think after that game, he was optioned to AAA. Since returning back to the Astros, and talk about this series real quick, he was 5 for 12 with 2 RBIs. But the last 7 games, .435 batting average with 10 hits, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a .609 slugging percentage. Chas McCormick has made a huge adjustment. He did talk to the media on Saturday. Both of us weren't able to go Sunday, but we were there for Saturday. And Brian McTaggart had asked him, how do you feel differently in the last week or the last 10 days since being called up again? This is a quote from him. He said, quote, I feel a little better. I mean, you get a new perspective when you get option. So just felt good. These guys are giving me chances and just happy to come through today. So he said about that perspective of going down to AAA. So my question was, I had asked him, I mean, was it kind of a mental aspect part of your game, or was it something physical, through your body mechanics? And he said, definitely, it could be both, but mentally, definitely. I mean, obviously, getting option never feels good, but again, these guys give me chances all year, and again, it's a cool thing to come back up here and put some good swings on the ball. Not to mention, Joe Espada, after the game on Saturday, did mention with Chas McCormick, the biggest thing that they needed to see from him was his confidence. And I think he has got his confidence ever getting back from Sugarland.
Absolutely. This is a guy, he's hitting 212 now, so he picked that batting average up. Obviously, 212 is not where you want to be, but it's better than he was. He hadn't hit above 212 since August 4th.
Wow.
In August, he only had 4 hits in the entire month of August. 4 hits. He's up to 9 in September. So it's a big turnaround. I think him being an option was like a wake up call. I would say he took it like instead of, he understood. It's not like, for example, Nestor Cortez with the Yankees, right? Starting pitching, doing pretty good, and then they take him to the bullpen. He was a little upset about that, but with Chas, he knew he wasn't doing good. He knew he wasn't hitting. Again, like 4 hits in the month of August as a starter is not going to give you too many opportunities at the plate, but being able to take it with an open mind, understand that by going down there, it's helping the team win because he's going to do what he needs to do to get back up there, and he's showed that, hey, I can still be a major league hitter. I'm not just some person who's going to be a part-time player, but someone who can be there consistently and get some hits. I think he's really done that.
Yeah, and I mean, he said it right there in the quote. He just needed a different perspective, but like you said, a wake-up call. And this has really helped him. He said basically he had mentioned too, nothing against the guys at AAA, but it's a different game from Sugarland AAA baseball, minor league baseball compared to
Yeah.
the majors. And what he's done in these last couple of games is just giving him more confidence. And I think that just needs to continue to happen. He's been doing a really good job in that 9th spot or wherever they put him in that bottom part of the lineup. And if he continues to do that, honestly, I won't be surprised if he starts in the postseason over Jake Myers.
Yeah. What has Jake Myers done since he come back? Let me look.
I mean, the beginning of the season, he was the guy that was hot than anybody of the outfielders, not including Kyle Tucker, not even including Yordan Alvarez. And he kind of carried the load. And maybe this is the point, like, okay, I did this part of the first season and he's kind of slumping down. So somebody needs to kind of step up. And that's been Chas McCormick right now.
Yeah.
I mean, these last couple of games, it's not a big sample size, but it's a small sample size of what can continue on into the later part of September and then possibly going into October.
Yeah. Both guys, at this point with Chas and Jake, I feel like it's whoever has a hot hand. It's gonna be on the field right now. It's Chas.
And I feel like it's been like that though too, for like the past couple seasons now, like about 2 or 3 seasons. Myers made his debut in 21. McCormick having a hell of a season in 23 as well in 22. But I do got Jake Myers real quick stats post All-Star break. He is batting a .195. He was hitting 242 before the All-Star break, and now he is hitting a .195. Not to mention, in August he was hitting 211. July he was hitting 169, and currently in September, through 10 at bats in 4 games, he has only collected 1 hit, meaning that is a 100 batting average at the moment.
Okay.
So, like I said, I mean, he did a really good job in the beginning of the season. Looking at it right now, too, May was probably the hottest month ever in his career. 329, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. I mean, he looked really comfortable at the plate. But as of right now, if Chas McCormick continues to do what he's doing, I won't be surprised if he's going to be in the starting lineup if the Astros make the postseason.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
Daniel does agree too. Hope Chas can keep this up going into the postseason. Like I said, nothing too much confirmed. Yeah, the Astros got to still play good baseball in order to get there. But we did skip Framber Valdez, Fram-Tastic. How can we skip La Grasa himself? He's been having a hell of a second half season. Angel, you've really hit the nail on that one. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, 96 pitches were thrown, 57 were strikes. He moves his ERA under 3 for the first time this season. We had talked about the last episode too. This guy is probably going to get some Cy Young voting. If he continues to pitch like this, I won't be surprised if he's second or third. Really second, I think.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Because I don't think there's no harder pitcher out there right now besides Tariq Skubal having that triple crown with the ERA, the strikeouts, and all that type of stuff. Than Framber Valdez. Like besides Hunter Brown too. Hunter Brown's really had a great second half too of the whole turnaround for him. But Valdez and just Framber, he's just done a hell of a job. And I've thought about it too, which we could have a little small discussion about this. Should the Astros maybe look into this offseason, possibly giving Framber an extension?
I think so. I think this would be the cheapest it's going to be.
Do you think it's going to be cheap?
No. Like cheapest compared to if he pitches great next year, he's gonna the price tag is gonna go up.
Just going to continue.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity to get somewhat a steal. I mean, I'm sure an extension for Framber Valdez is gonna be pricey, right? Because it's a great pitcher, he's still young, but it's not like he's gonna fall off. Like it's gonna continue pitching great, and if you sign him now, you might not get him as expensive as it was if he's pitching great another year. It's like his price tag skyrocketing, and then you have other teams trying to bid for him as well. So it's gonna be kind of hard for that. So yeah, I mean, I could see that as a possibility.
Yeah, because go ahead.
I was gonna say, but you also got to think about Kyle Tucker too. I'm sure both him and Framber Valdez are in the same boat there.
Who do you think is more realistic to maybe sign with the Astros?
Realistically,
because I mean Tucker, both guys, I'm pretty sure would probably say they would like to stay in Astros uniform, but at the same time too, it's a business, and to me, I'm leaning towards maybe Framber's more comfortable than Kyle Tucker, because Kyle Tucker, 5-tool player, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of teams out there that would like to get
suitors,
a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm agree with you there. I think Framber Valdez is a more realistic signing. However, I do say the Astros do make a pretty hefty effort to bringing back Kyle Tucker.
I think for the sake of your rotation, because of course Luis Garcia, I think either 2 years from now he'll be a free agent. Jose Urquidy as well. Both are. You would think Garcia would be ready before spring training or at spring training at the time. Urquidy's not going to be ready until the regular season. Same goes for Christian Javier, but the Astros have locked Javier for an extension. Hunter Brown hasn't quite a while since his arbitration years. Same goes for Spencer Arrighetti. So I think your best option is to look into giving Framber an extension, because I honestly do not see the Astros bringing back Justin Verlander next year. If you do give an extension to Valdez, your rotation is pretty damn set for a good while. I mean, you have Javier, you have him, Hunter Brown, Spencer Arrighetti. So
how long though? Because Framber Valdez is about to be 31.
You could give him a 4-year deal. I think 4 years is suitable.
Pitching to he's 35.
Yeah. Justin Verlander's pitching until he's 42.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay.
I'm kind of interested now to see. Oh shit! 2024, is it 2024 or 2025 free agents? Because I'm intrigued to see what the pitchers look like. I think Walker Buehler is a pitcher that's going to be a free agent, and I think that could be a good sneaky move for the Astros. But of course, I'm not the GM. Scherzer's an unrestricted free agent. Verlander's an unrestricted free agent. Cole has an opt-out. Wow. I don't think he goes anywhere. Blake Snell, of course.
So
Uh,
the Astros avoided arbitration um with Framber paying him 12 million a year. Uh, he has his he has another arbitration for 2025 and 2026. He'll become a unrestricted free agent.
till 2020. Oh, okay. So till 2026.
Okay.
Still, I mean, Christian Javier wasn't a free agent until maybe that time or the following year, and they gave him an extension.
Yeah.
But real quick, Patrick Corbin's another guy, but he's 35 years old. Robbie Ray has an opt out with the Giants. Charlie Morin, I highly doubt is going to be pitching next year. He is 40 years old already. Lucas Giolito has an opt out with the Boston Red Sox. I think he had Tommy John, I want to say. Uvalde has a vested option. He's going to be 35. Frankie Montas, 31, mutual option. Michael Walker, 34, player option. Corbin Burns, which I highly doubt, but unrestricted free agent. Max Fried's an unrestricted free agent. Flaherty's an unrestricted free agent. So there's a lot of, honestly, there's a lot of pitchers in this coming year. It's going to be interesting what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely there. And I think Corbin is going to be the highest price tag pitcher there.
More than likely. You got him, you got Max Fried. So there's quite a few good starting pitch. Luis Severino's actually pitched really well with the Mets this year.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Kikuchi, the way he's been pitching, other than getting kind of knocked around his last start. So there's a lot of options out there for the Astros. Because I think that's going to be the number one thing is going to get a pitcher. They've learned that this season from all the injuries they had to go through. I would think the Astros at least get one starting pitcher this coming off season.
I say Kikuchi comes back for the Astros.
Just depends on the price, though. Just heavily depends on the price.
I don't think the Astros gave him 3 prospects just to let him walk. So, I mean, I would say.
Possibility.
I would say they make a good effort to bring him back.
I did see Kikuchi's name. Let me see. I didn't even get to see the age. He's going to be 30. He's 33 this year, actually.
Well, if you're willing to give Valdez a 4-year contract when he's 31, I would say 2-year for Kikuchi.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. 2, maybe 3 with an option, I'm guessing, with that 3rd year? Or is it just 2 for you?
Say 2, maybe a club option, depending how he does.
Okay. Not bad, not bad. Tony, are the Mariners playing? They are not playing today, so they have a 4.5 lead over them. He also did comment about the pitching. McCullers won't be ready till 2027. Very funny. And Jake Odorizzi is he a free agent? I want to say he is. Yes, he did sign. I think he signed a year contract with the Rangers this season, but obviously he got hurt before the start of the season. Which I don't think everybody's going to be suitable for Jake Odorizzi, even though he is a World Series champion pitcher. But we'll continue on the pitching topics with the next one. Does JV pitch in the postseason? Another rocky start for the veteran against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 3 innings, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 walk, 0 strikeouts. 75 pitches were thrown. 46 of them were strikes. I think Pavin Smith alone had 7 RBIs, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He had a great day. He had a grand slam, a 3-run home run, and a solo home run.
So he almost had the cycle for the home run. He just needed a 2-run homer.
2-run home run, yes.
So I guess you can say Pavin Smith versus Justin Verlander and the Arizona Diamondbacks in that game. But Verlander did address the media after the game. And this is from Brian McTaggart's article on MLB.com. It says, quote, I felt good physically, but obviously the results were atrocious. Guys hit a lot of good pitches, though. Moves on to say, I thought the stuff was good. I thought the physicality of my body moving. I'll look at some stuff tomorrow, but overall felt the ball was jumping out a little bit better. Ironically, I felt like the fastball was a little crisper. Although it got me in trouble today, I have to kind of look at it tomorrow. Body felt pretty good. And then the manager, of course, the skipper has to protect his guys. He did address the media about Verlander's start. He said, quote, I would not bet against someone with the pedigree and how good this guy's been for a very long time. I just know that he's going to go back and work and try to figure some stuff out. This guy has been really good for a very long time. We talked about a couple things there in the dugout. Some things he felt, some things he saw. He was looking at video. We have to go back to the drawing board and get him going. We need him, end quote. From those quotes, Angel, I mean specifically Verlander, what kind of caught your ear when I was talking through that time, or even looking at that quote from JV?
Uh, I think what caught my eye there was that although the result wasn't pretty, that he felt good. I think that's a positive thing, and that gives the Astros hope that maybe a turnaround may be coming. Especially they're gonna need him in the postseason. I know Valdez has been great. Brown, Kikuchi. I know I said that I would have JV in Atlanta, but those three guys have been solid. I think those three guys have deserved those three starters. But they're gonna need Justin Verlander
Mhm.
as a fourth starter, maybe, or maybe to replace one of those guys that are not, maybe like how they did with McCullers and Morton, right? Maybe burner starter. Like no matter where Justin Verlander comes in, and honestly, it's kind of hard to envision Justin Verlander coming from the bullpen.
Yeah.
Like I know Madison Bumgarner done it. I know like guys like Chris have done it, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to envision that. So if that's not going to be the case for the Astros, they're going to need him to, step up. But the fact that he's feeling good, the fact that his velocity was up, the fact that he felt his fastballs were there, it's just maybe it was a bad day in the office. I think that's all.
Yes, I was gonna say the same thing with when I asked you what caught your eye. That was the biggest thing I saw throughout that whole quote and text was physicality, physical, body feeling good. That is a plus. The bad part, since coming off the IL, 0-4 with a 9.68 ERA, like you had mentioned too, the velocity was a tick up in this last start against the Diamondbacks. It went from 94 to 95. And of course, I was going to ask you, do you still feel confident of him being a game two postseason starter? I mean, I think you just said right there, possibly game four.
Yeah, I mean,
Correct.
yeah, I
Okay.
yeah because I mean, I think Fram doesn't be game one starter for sure.
Yes.
I Hunter Brown doesn't get a game two starting, and Kikuchi has done well. I think he's earned that third spot, unless again maybe they switch Verlander and Kikuchi depending how Verlander's last few starts are. But at this point, it's in that order. It's going to be Valdez, Brown, Kikuchi, uh, and Verlander.
And a lot of people had mentioned too, like you were saying, putting him in the bullpen. I think the last time he was in the bullpen in a postseason game, I want to say 2017 when they won the World Series and he came, or no, oh, did he come out of the bullpen in one
I
of
don't
those
remember.
games? I know he was in the bullpen because if you remember Game 7, he was running out of the bullpen to the mound when they clinched.
Mhm.
Now I'm curious. I'm not 100% sure when was the last time he did come out of the bullpen, but I remember them talking about it on the Sunday night baseball broadcast. And I want to say it was David Cohn that had said if your Justin Verlander is going to be in the postseason, he's going to be a starter, and if you don't put him in a starting role, then you might as well keep him off the roster because.
Mm,
And I don't. I mean, I wouldn't say keep him off the roster, but there is no way and no chance in hell you're keeping Verlander from getting a start in the postseason. I think more than anything, he's going to be a game four starter because
okay.
there's only four starters in the postseason. More than likely, Verlander is going to be game four, especially the way that we're saying Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, Yusei Kikuchi have been pitching. If they continue pitching
Mhm.
like that, best believe that's how they're going to start. And Verlander continues to roll like this, more than likely he'll be game four starter. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Now it's crazy to think, uh, and I and as we're talking about like the four starters, you're also gonna have Spencer Arrighetti, Ronald Blanco in that bullpen. That just makes that bullpen even more elite there. So, I mean, it's a battle. Like how we've been saying, 162 games. It's a grind of a season, but the Astros have a really good chance to compete with anybody in this postseason. And it starts with Verlander. Honestly, like they're gonna need him to step up, and they're gonna need him to be ready for the postseason, which I think he would.
Yeah, and I agree with Tony right here. They need Verlander for clubhouse morale in the playoffs. I want to say he was a part of that meeting in Philly. If you remember
Yeah.
that bad game three start from Lance McCullers Jr., I think they had a team meeting between Michael Brantley, Martin Maldonado, and who was the other guy? And JV, I want to say. I think those are
Mm-hmm.
the three guys that kind of brought an approach for the clubhouse to have a meeting about what's going on. This cannot happen, kind of thing. And yeah, I just do not see him. I do not see him off the postseason roster.
Yeah,
Let's get let's get
no
that straight.
chance.
Yeah, let's
No
get that
chance.
straight out of the way right now. Bullpen, slightly maybe, but who would you rather have as your game 4 start? Would you rather have Verlander, Arrighetti, or Blanco?
Honestly, the way Blanco's pitching, maybe Blanco, but however, I don't see it happening just because the experience of Justin Verlander. You're not gonna see again. It's gonna be Verlander in the 4th spot. There's no doubt in my mind.
And I think it's great too for Verlander to be a road warrior kind of thing. If Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez do pitch at home, you'll have Yusei Kikuchi, who's pitched on the road. I think he pitched that game, if I'm not mistaken, last year in the wild card for the Blue Jays against the Twins, and he did a freaking hell of a job. And then John Schneider, I want to say, had pulled him out of the game, not allowing a run in 4 innings. So Kikuchi has postseason experience, especially away from his home ballpark. And Justin Verlander, of course, from pitching from his time in Detroit as well as in Houston, he has that experience. He has the veteran presence that I think the Astros, the team's already a dynasty that's gone through the postseason for a good amount of years now, 7 straight ALCSs. Justin Verlander, game 4 starter, I would say. If this continues going on, game 4.
Yeah.
And then real quick, before we do move to the Carne Asada real quick, I did want to mention Ronel Blanco did come out of the bullpen against the D-backs, and that was one of the things we had talked about was we would like to see Blanco come out of the bullpen just to get the familiarity. Yeah, I can't even talk right now. Of being in the bullpen and coming in situations. And that's what Joe Espada did in Saturday's contest. 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, only 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts.
Good.
Dominant. So more than likely, you'll probably see him maybe get another bullpen, but they're going to be going to a 6-man rotation, I want to say, for this next upcoming road trip.
Yeah, it looks good. Now, that bullpen for the postseason is going to be scary. Arrighetti, Blanco, Abreu, Presley, Hader, Taylor Scott, Naris. That's what they can compete with anybody there.
The only ones with no postseason experience would be Arrighetti, Blanco, and Taylor Scott.
Yeah, I think they got it. But let's go ahead and move on to the Carne Asada. It's gonna be a duel. It's gonna be both Yordan Alvarez and Framber Valdez will be both bringing the meat. Alvarez was great, 5 for 12, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. He had 6 of those came on that Friday game when he hit the multi-hit home run. This is Yordan Alvarez's 22nd career multi-home run game and his 7th of the season, which leads to major leagues and ties the franchise record for a single season, which also he ties Chris Carter, and he did that in 2014. Do you think Yordan Alvarez breaks that record? This is what? I think this is his 2nd multi-hit game this month.
Multi-homer game?
Sorry, yeah. Multi-homer game this month.
There's a shot, honestly. I want to say there's 19 games left for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you if anybody can do it against a specific team, I would say against Seattle.
Seattle? With that pitching?
With that pitching and out, do you not remember the last postseason game against the Mariners and the Astros, what he did? So
I do.
I think the Mariners kind of, did you not remember too in the beginning? Not in the beginning. After the All-Star break, hit a home run that I would say broke StatCast. Hit a 389 home run to the 3rd deck, apparently. 389.
Big one.
That was 400. 400 plus.
And also, Framber Valdez, my second half MVP. In 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Like Lorenzo said, he's under 2 ERA. He's at 297. And how crazy is this? With the amount of phenomenal pitchers the Astros have had, with Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan, I don't know, I'm missing a whole ton. Left-handed pitcher Framber Valdez is the first pitcher in franchise history to post back-to-back starts of 7+ innings, allowing 2 or fewer hits in both starts. Pretty great stuff, though.
He's just been dominant, man.
Yeah. That, when I looked at that set, I was like, it's crazy. That's hasn't been done before. We got J.R. Richard and
not Nolan Ryan, Roy Oswalt.
Yeah.
Verlander himself too. Keuchel, whenever he had that 15 Was it 15
quality
and 0
start.
at home?
Yeah.
Like he had a record at home that it was like undefeated every time he had started. Do you not remember the Keiko's corner over there?
Yeah, I do understand this one. Pretty
Keiko's
elite stuff.
corner left.
Absolutely. Pretty great stuff. And Jose Altuve had himself a series. He was smashing the ball. 8 for 14, 1 home run, 6 runs, 3 doubles, 3 RBIs. He's back to a 301 batting average there. And it just gives the stats of how great Altuve has been. In franchise history, he ranks third in runs with 1,147, third in hits with 2,216, and third in doubles with 426. Just elite stuff.
Greatness. That's all it is. It's just a greatness. First ballot Hall of Famer, I would say, honestly.
Absolutely. I agree with you there.
Question though, before we do move on.
Go ahead.
Will he be the best second baseman ever in Major League Baseball? Because I think
so.
between, I want to say Roberto Alomar is one of the guys on top. I think Joe Morgan's another guy that's on top at second base.
Joe Morgan was good. Yeah.
I think they were the only two really, that's in my head at least, that were one of the best second basemen in MLB history. Honestly, I think he has a shot at being
Joe Morgan. I'm looking at stats right here. 2,517 hits, 268 home runs, 271 batting average, 1,133 RBIs. You kind of say that at that point, I think Jose Altuve has a better career right there.
I think Altuve has a chance of getting 3,000 hits. He has a chance to get 300 home runs.
Yeah.
I think he has a shot, honestly. I know a lot of East Coast and West Coast riders won't like that, but I mean, shit. What the size that he's at and what he's doing?
With Joe Morgan was also 5'7" too.
That's true. That is true. That's very true.
But yeah, it'll be a great debate for the near future. Who is the best second baseman of all time? I'm 100% sure Jose Altuve is in that conversation. And then lastly, Alex Bregman. He only played in 2 games. He was 2 for 8, 1 home run, but he had 4 RBIs this series. Again, just to give you some stats about how great he's been. In franchise history, he's tied. He's for 5th in hit by pitch with 58, 6th in home runs, and 7th in doubles with 262 there. So pretty phenomenal stuff there.
It's another guy that the Astros could possibly look at, but not 100% sure if he'll be back in the Nationals uniform.
Yeah, if you missed our debate on that, check in last podcast towards the end. We kind of talked about how with that Matt Chapman contract that he just signed, extension, that's kind of it's the minimum that Alex Bregman will want, and I'm sure he's going to be asking for a lot more than what Chapman got.
It's like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I don't know.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Boy, he said he wants a penny more than Jay Jets, which both receivers are still hella good, honestly. God bless. And they came from LSU.
Yeah. Wide receiver, you.
Go Tigers, as they say over there with the G. You know, the Alex Bregman. Speaking of LSU Tigers, Alex Bregman ending the Carne Asada. But we're going to go quick on this pitching preview. Didn't do a lot of investigating of the splits and all that type of stuff like I usually do. I think I've been slacking a little bit here and there, but we've got other lives to worry about.
But we busy.
We straight busy. But Oakland Athletics come to town for the final time as the Oakland A's. They are 62 and 82, 4-6 in their last 10 games. They're 4th in the American League West. The Astros have played them 3 times, so this is the last series that they will be playing against the A's. The first time they did swept them, won the second series, and then previously lost the last series after the All-Star break. And then just to mention, we did talk about not taking these kind of teams lightly. The Oakland A's have the second best record after the All-Star break. First, the Houston Astros. Second, the Oakland Athletics. A lot of players you can name on that roster that's really contributed to why they've had a great, successful second start. Brent Rooker's been hitting the ball really well. Shea Langoliers is another guy that's hit well. Lawrence Butler just coming out of the scene all of a sudden has been doing well. So the Sky, honestly, their future is looking bright. And if you're an Oakland A's fan, even though they are moving out Oakland, As a fan, I wouldn't know how to act. I'd probably be pretty pissed like everybody else. But just know, I think the future of the team as themselves, called the Athletics, it's pretty bright. So, oh, you're on mute.
Not bad. No, I was gonna say this is a team. How we always say you can't take lightly. Like Lorenzo, they've been playing. They've been pretty good. Like second best record since the All Star break. There's a little fire there. Like they know what all the noise that they're getting because of the whole situation they're in. They're not letting that deter them, and they're playing great baseball there.
Yeah, so let's start off with Tuesday's matchup. I'm telling you, these weird off days, Monday, and then having in the middle of Tuesday of last week, is what it is. Baseball is coming to an end. But Tuesday, 7:10 start time. Osvaldo Bido is going for the A's, 5-3 record with a 3.41 ERA. He'll be going against Spencer Arrighetti, 13-6 with a 3.11 ERA, which that is BS. I don't think that's right. My fault on my end. But Bido came out of the bullpen in his last appearance. The last appearance against the Detroit Tigers. That was just 2 days ago, September 7. 2 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. 40 pitches were thrown, 26 of them were strikes. He did start against the Houston Astros earlier this season, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. I'm very curious to see how he reacts coming from the bullpen and then going to a start, because this guy, I want to say he just made his debut, and like even I want to say last year. Not 100% sure. You could double check me on that, Angel.
Well,
But he's still fairly young.
yeah, well, Bido did that with the Astros. If you don't recall, when he started last time, never at Oakland, he had pitched 2 innings to start before, and then ended up throwing 5 innings against the Astros. So don't let that deter you. If he's rolling, he will get more of an opportunity.
Most definitely on that stat line. But Spencer Arrighetti, his last start against the Cincinnati Reds, did not really go as well as planned for Arrighetti. He only collected 2 outs, so that's 2/3 of an inning. 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 0 strikeouts. Excuse me. Um, and it was a little bit more earned runs in that start, but Major League Baseball did make a correction due to Jeremy Pena making that error at short whenever he was trying to get the ball and throw it to Altuve at second for the force. So that, because I want to say it was like what, 7 earned runs or 9 earned runs in that start. It was one of those, and now
What?
it moved down to 3. Yeah, Arrighetti.
It was not. It was originally 9 runs, but then they
9
moved to
runs
Jeremy Pena.
with the error.
In the error, so it came back to 3.
Yeah, so 3 earned runs. But Arrighetti is the only Astros pitcher this year who has faced Oakland 3 times this season. Real quick, I'll go through them starts. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. The first start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. That second start. And then the last start, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Spencer Arrighetti has looked really well, of course. We had already mentioned he was the August Rookie of the Month for Major League Baseball. He had a really great month of August. If you're Arrighetti, you're looking to bounce back from that start against Cincinnati. I know, and you've seen it on the broadcast when he was pitching, he was visibly frustrated as hell coming off that mound and coming out of the game. So I'm expecting a huge bounce back game for Spencer.
Me too. I think like he's been in this situation before where he's not done great and has been able to turn around the next start. I think against the Oakland Athletics, I mean, they're no easy task either, but I think he has a great chance of bouncing back, like you said, and he's been there before. So I think he has. I think if he's a free agent in your fantasy playoffs, that's the guy you're gonna go after.
Ooh, little fantasy tip. Of course, we got to talk about fantasy baseball when Angel talks about fantasy baseball.
Of course, semifinals. Like it's looking like it's me and you in the final.
All right, then there's your preview right there for that. But Wednesday, 7:10, JP Sears for the A's, 11-10 record with a 4.34 ERA. He'll be going against Hunter Brown with 11-7 record, 3.41 ERA. And Sears' last start versus the Mariners, 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. His last start versus Houston wasn't pretty either. 6 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Don't have the numbers of what's happened post All-Star break and all that stuff, but I'm going with them numbers right there. Hunter Brown, of course, everybody knows what he's been dealing and doing this past season. Last start against Cincy, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. He did throw 97 pitches. 62 of them are strikes. I think you're seeing that more of a trend for Hunter Brown now that he's going over 95 pitches. Joe Espada sees it very comfortable that he could continue on the durability that he presents on the mound. So you're starting to see that more often with Hunter pitching on the mound. Last start against the A's, 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. I think you're looking at maybe lowering the hit column in this start against Oakland this time around. And just to mention, Hunter Brown loves pitching against the A's. I don't know what it is. Maybe the Kelly greens that they wear, the uniform, the colors, maybe the elephant on the patch on their sleeve. He just loves pitching against the A's. 5 starts. He is 3-0 with a 180 ERA. He's only given up 6 earned runs and 38 strikeouts combined in those 5 starts. He has won 3 of his last 4 starts against the Athletics. Can he make it 4, Angel?
I think so.
I believe so too. Hunter Brown's been on a row, and I think if you're going to play with a hot hand, like Angel said, it'd be crazy if he's on waivers right now in fantasy baseball because he's been having a hell of a season. But Thursday is the series finale for the Astros. 110 start time. Joey Estes, 6-7 record with a 4.46 ERA. He'll be going against Framber Valdez. La Grasa, 14-6, like we had mentioned earlier. His ERA is under 3 with a 2.97 ERA. We won't talk about Valdez going against, his last start against the D-backs, but we will talk about his last start versus Oakland real quick. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Just like you had mentioned, Angel, on the Carne Asada, with him having 6 innings and 2 or 3 fewer hits and scoreless appearances. I mean, he just did it right there against the A's. But Estes' last start, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 8 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's been really pitching well in the month of August. 2-2 record, 3.03 ERA, a 195 opponent batting average. So Astros are looking to make an adjustment from the last start. I'm pretty sure both sides are looking to do just that.
Absolutely.
I know you're checking your fantasy team. I know you are. But this series overall, I mean, honestly, I think this is a great opportunity for the Astros. I feel like I've always said that, but specifically this series, especially a team that's been really hot after the All-Star break and what the Astros have been doing against great baseball teams in these past couple series, I think you got to feel confident about the Astros possibly getting a sweep in this.
I think so. I think so too. And I was actually checking if Spencer Arrighetti was available, but he was not.
Come on, man.
He's actually going against you, so.
Really can't say nothing about that. Really can't say nothing. No comment. No comment.
All right, moving on to the train station. We're about to finish early here. But moving on to the train station, we got Kyle Tucker. I know he's back, but I just want to talk about him a little bit. He did return from the IL on Friday. He had been out since June 3rd with a fractured shin. He missed a total of 79 games. However, on Friday, he did DH. Like we kind of predicted that he was going to be DHing. But on Saturday, he took the day off, and then on Sunday he was DH again. It's kind of sort of the trend there. When Espada was there, I know I posted a video about it, but it's not like the actual quote. It's kind of like a little rehab, major league rehab assignment. Like instead of going to AAA, they're gonna play it slow with him, and just make sure he's right. Mm-hmm. So on Sunday, this is Espada had to say about Tucker. Sorry, excuse me. He says he looks okay. Hopefully, we can get him back in right field in a game in the next few days. That's the goal. He's getting closer. So I think he's going to be 1 game on, 1 game off until he's ready to play in the outfield, just because I know Yordan Alvarez will take that DH spot sometimes. So it's Bregman. I know he's still nursing that arm as well. So there's only 1 DH spot, and trying to revolving with 3 players is kind of hard.
Do you see him playing right field this series, though?
I'd say the next series.
I think the Astros do put him in right field in this series.
You think so? Maybe the last game or what?
Possibly series finale, or maybe the game of the series. I think he only plays 2 out of 3 of the games, but I do think he will play right field either at least in one of these games. I think.
I don't think he does it, but if he is going to play right field, I would say it would be the first game, just because there was a day off on Monday.
True.
And then you give him the day off the second game, and I think that the Thursday game is a 1 o'clock game. So
Mhm.
if if he plays outfield in the second game, then he's gonna be off in the third game just because that 1 o'clock game, and that way he only plays one game instead of the two. So I would say like if he's gonna play the field, if he's gonna play the field, it's gonna be that first game just to give him that off day in the middle game and then that early game on Thursday.
Yeah, because the Astros do travel after the Oakland game to Anaheim to play the Angels of that weekend series.
Yeah. So if it does happen, I think it would be the first game.
Got a good point.
And then Mauricio Dubon on Friday, he jammed his finger sliding into first. So that's for kids that never slide into first base. Didn't play on Saturday. Came into the ninth as a defensive replacement. Just played the outfield. This is per Brian Tiger. This is what Joe Espada had to say about Mauricio Dubon. He's like, he's better. He's still a bit sore. He goes in the cage and took a couple of swings. The area, the thumb is a bit sore. So hopefully I can use him today for an opportunity presented. I think he can go out there and play, but I can give him another day. It would be great. I think he'll be back this series. I think we've all experienced jumping fingers before playing sports, and they hurt. But I think the ice, he could be back out there soon.
Have you ever jammed your finger on like a basketball? Man, those hurt like hell.
Well, I actually like kind of sprained my thumb. I didn't realize it was sprained. Diving back into third base.
How base running defense? What are we talking about? Was it a steal?
I was sliding head first. I was trying to stretch. This is back when I was fast. So I was trying to.
Shit. Yeah. Back when you were fast.
Back when I was fast. I gotta admit, I'm a little slow now. It happened a long time ago. I was sliding into third, and my thumb got twisted like that on the dirt, and it was swollen. It hurt, but I was like, just say, it'll be fine. So then 2 years later, I was in the outfield and I dove for a ball. My same finger got jumped back again. So this time it hurt a lot more. I went to doctor. I was like, yeah, it was like you basically refractured the old fracture that was there. So I didn't go to the doctor the first time. It was a fractured thumb.
If you had a fractured thumb, you wouldn't feel movement in your thumb, though.
Well, it was big and fat, but that was pretty much it. Yeah.
And when was this? Don't tell me this was high school.
No, this was like I think a year after we graduated high school.
Boys and girls, like he was saying, do not slide at first. There's a strong possibility that you might not even want to play Sunday League after this, because then you'll be re-hurting yourself, like him jamming his finger, sliding, and re-hurting his hamstring. I know I've hurt my hamstring playing Sunday. That's why I don't play Sunday League anymore. But yeah, boys and girls, think about your careers after high school.
Make sure you get a job with insurance.
If you play Sunday League, that's the thing. If you play Sunday League, if you're in high school and you deal with that, then you're in your parents' insurance, so you should be good.
Yeah, there you go. Keep at it. And then, lastly, on the train station, Astros number 3 prospect Brice Matthews was promoted to AAA, which is, I mean, he's kind of like flying through the ranks, if you could say. So he's looked good. I don't think the Astros missed with that pick, and in a few years or two, probably could be that third base, honestly, spot, because I'm sure they're still gonna need him if they can't sign Alex Bregman.
That's what I'm about to look at right now. I'm very curious because he has played some third in Corpus this year. Shortstop, yeah, third base, 17 games. That was with Asheville and Corpus Christi, and shortstop at 40 games, and second base only 1 start. He has played 2 games at second with Corpus. There's a strong chance, honestly, he might be playing with the Astros next year.
Yeah.
If they do not sign anybody this offseason, and then they don't even get Bregman, this is a guy that you're probably going to see at third base. I don't think they moved Payne to the short. I mean, from short to third.
No, absolutely not.
I think
Whitcomb's going to fill in that. I think Whitcomb's going to fill in that role.
Okay. So you think Whitcomb?
Or I mean, he's been playing third base already,
but he hasn't been playing actual. Like that's the funny thing too, that he hasn't had some playing time in a while at third. because Mauricio Dubon got the start at third in this series against the D-backs.
So I mean, that's your three guys trying to replace Alex Bregman. Is it gonna be
But
Dubon?
do you think Joe Espada is going to want to use Mauricio Dubon as a actual starter than a utility guy? Because if you put Dubon at third base, who's your utility man?
I mean, I would say Dubon has more value as a utility. I mean, but he's gonna be playing there a good chunk of games too. If Alex Bregman's on the actual uniform next year.
It just depends on what Brice Matthews does, really. Because this is honestly, this trend right here is what Alex Bregman did in 20. When he get drafted, 2015.
Yeah,
right there. Because 2015 he did the same. What Matthews is doing right now, Bregman did that in 15 and 16. He made his MLB debut in that season. So
yeah.
if Matthews is not on the opening day roster, then there's a strong possibility that he's going to make his debut next year.
Absolutely. I think I agree with you there. And then last thing around the horn, James Earl Jones passed away today. I don't know if you know who that is. He was part of the movies Field of Dreams and The Sandlot. He's also the voice of Darth Vader as well. So
I did not know that. Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
For all you Star Wars geeks out there. I did not know that, though. I do remember The Sandlot and Field of Dreams. But if you would have told me Darth Vader in Star Wars, I would not believe you.
If you build it, they will come.
Famous quote. Famous quote.
Absolutely. So, RP to him. Our condolences to his family as well. Great actor. And then last two things. Paul Skeens breaks the Pirates record for more strikeouts by a rookie. He has struck out 143 batters. Imagine he would have came in the beginning of the season. What do you think he would be at right now?
I don't think 200. I would say maybe 175.
I can see that.
200 would be pushing it. But then again, too, I mean, he still got maybe 2 more starts in him before the season ends.
Yeah. Pretty phenomenal stuff there.
Now, the Rookie of the Year conversation, we've both already kind of gave our input. I do like Paul Skeens, but I think Jackson Merrill takes it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Paul Skeens takes it.
Other than that, you would say Paul Skeens. So when the season ends, or maybe the off season, when it gets closer to the time of the awards, then we'll have this debate.
And then there's a scoregami in the Monday night game. I don't know if you saw that.
What?
A scoregami. I don't know if you know what that is.
A scoregami? What the hell is that?
You never heard of a scoregami?
I mean, it sounds familiar, but I just don't. I don't have it on the top of my head.
A scoregami is when it's the first time. So the Giants had 19, San Francisco 32. That's the first time that score has happened in a football game. So it's the 1,085th unique final score in NFL history.
Look at that, giving a little bit of NFL education on a baseball podcast.
I love scoregamis.
What a week 1 it was for football, though, too.
Absolutely.
Football's back.
It was back.
Speaking of football, real quick, do not forget to go follow the guys at Bring on the Blitz podcast, part of the Arskina Podcast Network. Those guys are covering the Houston Texans as well as the National Football League. So they will probably be giving their input about CJ Stroud, the Texans. My God, have a day Joe Mixon, 159 freaking rushing yards. That was one of the weaknesses Houston had dealt with last year. Their run game wasn't the best. That's just more of a threat for CJ Stroud. God bless. Yeah. So check out Bring on the Blitz podcast. Go give them a follow. They will be the guys to give you all the Texans and NFL content out there.
Okay. And I just want to say I have a new least favorite player, and that's going to be kicker Jake Moody. He single-handedly destroyed me in both of my fantasy leagues. Like, I was projected to win one of them. I was like, the other guy had a 1% chance of winning, and he had Breece Hall and Jake Moody, and I don't even want to talk about it anymore. So let's move on.
That shout out to Jake Moody.
And then lastly, Shohei Ohtani's at 46 home runs, 46 RBIs. 46 stolen bases. Do you think he becomes the first 50-50 player?
Yes.
Easy question.
That's too damn easy. Yeah. What he's doing is crazy. It just The other day I had thought about it too. Does he get Barry Bonds' 7 MVP record? I think he holds the record for most valuable players, like from a player. And I think Barry Bonds has 7. I
I
think
think if he, I think if he keeps pitching and hitting like if he's
honestly, he
pitching and
don't
hitting at,
you don't need a pitch
I mean, he just showed you that this year, right? Too, but I'm saying,
for the second year. I want to say he hasn't pitched in 2 years.
and I think if he's pitching and hitting, he's a lock-in, shoe-in for the MVP. Now, if he's hitting like today, I mean, obviously this year he showed us that he doesn't need to pitch to win an MVP. However, he does have more competition if he's just hitting. But that's the thing.
I don't know, man. He doesn't really need a pitch. He can honestly just win it on stolen bases and home runs.
But he's gonna pitch. I mean, the Dodgers didn't pay him that much.
No, especially this year, the Dodgers freaking need it bad. My gosh, they have so many pitchers on the IL, just like the Astros.
However, looking at trend though, I'm thinking right now, pitchers on the IL has been a hot commodity, unfortunately, right? Do you think the Dodgers be like, hey, we don't want you to get hurt, just hit the rest of for the
It's
rest
their
of your
$1
contract?
million man, dude. That is their $1 million man. Do you not remember this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, but
Are you not?
are you gonna risk? Are you gonna risk injury? Just
Well,
so
that's
you
what I'm
can.
saying. I just don't see him pitching at all. There's no need
Okay,
for
that's
him
fine.
to pitch.
Yeah, I got you.
They got all them prospects. Pretty sure too. They're going to be in the offseason looking for some starting pitchers as well from the season they're having. So, yeah, there's no need for this guy to pitch. He could maybe play a little bit of first, which I don't think Freddie Freeman would like it, and I don't even think he would be a good player to put at first. I think he played He played right
He played
field.
after. Yeah, he was right fielder.
So maybe just keep him in the outfield if he wants to get a start there.
I swear. Oh wait, he can't throw. Yeah, man. I was supposed to say they got. I think I swear that hadn't happened. But yeah, he can't throw. I forgot.
Yep. But that is the show. I thought we were honestly going to break under an hour, but then next thing you know, we talked about Brice Matthews and then
Scoregamis and
Origami's Darth Vader and Shohei Ohtani becoming a pitcher again. Oh, and then also, don't forget Angel Sunday League.
Yeah.
Your injury history. But that is the end of our show. My gosh, thank you for everybody sticking around with us. Even though today was Monday Night Football, I only got to watch a little bit of the game. I have it right here in front of me. But we really appreciate it, and we enjoy talking.
I don't know watch anyways.
Yeah, I've only kept a little bit of the score, but we really enjoyed talking to each and every one of y'all about this series against the Arizona Diamondbacks because this is going to be a good one going against the Oakland Athletics. There is only a little bit of games left, ladies and gentlemen, of baseball. Take advantage of it because then you're going to have that 4 or 5 month span without it. Football is going to be in full circle. Basketball is going to be coming near around. Hockey, I'm pretty sure. Champions League, too. If you are a soccer fanatic, will be coming around, too. But episode 212 is in the books. Like Angel had said earlier in the podcast, continue to follow us at our social media platforms on the ticker below, as well as our podcast platforms from Spotify to Apple Podcasts. If you haven't hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, make sure you get that going because we do need to get that popping. I know a lot of them are looking at from Twitter. So we really appreciate it if you go hit that like button and that subscribe button on YouTube. But Angel, anything else, man, before we get off?
No, just appreciate y'all listening in and thanks for our support.
Possibly there could be another podcast tomorrow with a special guest.
Oh, with a special guest. Tell me why I forgot. Yes, a very. You know what?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and talk
I'm gonna
about
give
it.
you a hint. I'm gonna give you a hint. A former major league player, old school guy. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I would hope it's a former major league player. Yeah, them are the hints, I guess. What great hints from Angel.
Wait. I got one.
Oh, okay, one more. He's giving y'all 3 instead of 2.
11-time Gold Glover and 3-time All-Star.
So that's 4 now. You're giving 4 hints.
Yes, I was generous there.
4 fingers from a fractured thumb, so he has to give 4 hints. Great job, Angel. But episode 1, 2, and 12 in the books. We'll give you that recap of that Oakland Athletics series. In the next podcast, remember tomorrow, tune in. We will have that special guest hopefully coming in and talking more about Astros baseball. But till then, y'all have a magnificent Monday night. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, have a great start to your Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace.